So let's talk about single premium general product information. Generally, our issue ages are going to be from 50 to 85. Some will issue all the way up to age 99. Generally, the premium, it's going to max premium you can put in is going to vary by the carrier. It's going to be based on the net amount at risk, which is the death benefit minus the premiums. Generally, that max death benefit that we can get is based on the net amount at risk of $750,000 or up to $1 million with some of the carriers. On the premium side, going to vary by the carrier, but generally it's going to be $5,000 to $10,000. Do have a couple carriers that will go below that, but you at least have to put in at least a certain amount of money to get a $5,000 face amount. Here on the underwriting side, generally these products, like I mentioned earlier, but you couldn't hear me, they're all simplified issue, which is nice. We can get a pretty quick turnaround time. One carrier will be on an instant decision basis. A lot of times it is either a tobacco or non-tobacco rating that will rate up to table 4 to get a standard issue. Some of the carriers will go all the way up to table 8. What's nice about these, like I said, simplified issues, so no exams, no PS, no APSs, generally just going to be based off of Milliman reports, script checks, all that kind of third-party data that the carriers pull in. And if we're looking at this as a long-term care alternative, they're going to generally underwrite for mortality versus morbidity. So if you have any clients looking for a long-term care alternative, take a look at SPL. Might be able to get them through on the underwriting side here. So some additional benefits to single premium life insurance out of that tax-free death benefit. They're going to have a return of premium aspect to it. Like I mentioned, can be positioned as a long-term care alternative. So have long-term care benefits or home health care benefits. Can generally withdraw up to 10% free inside of the contract. Do have a couple options here that we're able to transfer qualified funds into non-qualified benefits. So those two carriers are Baltimore Life and National Western Life. But think about the benefit that provides if you have a client that has $100,000 in a qualified funds. They don't plan on using it in retirement, don't need it for income. Obviously, with the changes to stretch IRAs here, if we're able to put those funds into an SPL product and turn those into a non-qualified tax-free death benefit for their beneficiaries, that says, that provides both the client some peace of mind and then that tax savings that the beneficiaries can then have access to once the client does pass away. So who are some prospects and who should we be looking for either in our book of business or when we're meeting with new clients? So anybody that has an old annuity, like I mentioned, that they might not need for retirement income anymore, that they're looking for an option for. Like I said, we can both use qualified and non-qualified dollars, right? The downfall with annuities is that on both the qualified or non-qualified, you're going to be taxed as ordinary income on any distributions. If we're looking at any annuities that do have a surrender charge still associated with it, generally we can offset those with that leverage that we're gaining on the death benefit side of things and the living benefits that these policies do provide. Next here, people to be looking out for is clients that have dusty money, I like to say, sitting on the sidelines, either in savings, high yield savings, checking accounts, CDs that they're not needing. Or in underperforming CDs. I know that interest rates have been dropping and are forecasted to drop here as we head into 2026, more than likely, either at the end of the year or at the end of the first quarter. Generally, we don't have as much fluctuation on life insurance fixed rates and cap rates and par rates. So we can offset those then obviously to have more attractive rates inside of an SPL product on top of our tax-free death benefit. Know that also AEP is ending up here. So take a look back here as you were taking notes when you were meeting with your MedSup clients, that if they have any life insurance that they might be paying on, that they don't want to keep paying on, or they want a 1035 any cash values that they have inside of there, we might be able to leverage a higher death benefit. That then leads me into our life insurance clients. So I see a lot of these in that first bullet point there of imploding old UL policies. Client keeps getting notices, hey, you need to drop in X amount of dollars to keep your policy going. They might have some cash values inside of there that are helping that policy limp along. They're tired of getting those notices that more premiums needed. We can 1035 cash values into an SPL product. Potentially can get them either the same amount of death benefit, or at least they can get them some sort of death benefit if they're tired of paying premiums on their old policies that then would be paid up to age either 100 or 120 based on the product that we are using. Also, take a look at any of your clients that are concerned about long-term care costs in retirement. So I'd mentioned earlier, long-term care standalone policies are becoming more and more expensive. There's some downfalls to those, then also of those premium rates are not guaranteed. They do have potential to have premium increases as the insurance carrier sees fit. A lot of those then are use it or lose it policies, so you can pay into a policy for 20 to 30 years. If you pass away without a long-term care event, insurance company gets to keep all of that money, or if they just can't afford standalone policies and they have some money sitting on the sidelines. So who are some players here on the single premium side of things? So we have a laundry list of carriers here that we have access to. Two that I want to point out here that are running some incentives here at the end of the year are EquiTrust and Baltimore Life. I really do like that EquiTrust product because it does have a premium bonus associated with it on that single premium. When you're funding the contract, generally that premium bonus is at 12%. Here through the end of the year, that premium bonus is going to be 15%. So you drop in $100,000. The amount of money, quote unquote, going into the contract then is 115, which then helps you essentially helps out on the cash values inside of that contract initially. The second carrier I wanted to point out is Baltimore Life. They're currently running a commission incentive here through the end of the year. So you'll get a 25% commission bonus on any cases paid. So those are two that I wanted to point out. Some of our other popular ones are One America for more of a long-term care play. And then also John Hancock has a new hybrid product that can be designed as a single premium, and then Nationwide in that long-term care hybrid space. Also, so if you have any questions on these carriers, reach out to your sales director or myself, and we can walk through which options might be the best fit for your client. I want to touch briefly on this because we have kind of tied in some long-term care aspect to many of these products. Key thing here to think about is tax treatment of long-term care riders on your product. You either have 7702B or 101G. Think of 7702B as your a true long-term care rider. So it's going to be a paid-for rider almost always on any of your policies. Going to be subject to the IRS per diem limit in 2025, which was $420. If the benefit is reimbursed and not indemnity based, those reimbursements are not subject to the IRS per diem limit. And some of the carriers are getting creative here on ways to maximize your benefit there on the reimbursement versus indemnity. So there's a couple carriers there. If you have questions on those, reach out to your sales director. Next, we have our chronic riders, which are 101G. Think of these as your accelerated benefits, generally on either term insurance policies, IULs, any type of life insurance. Generally, it's going to be a terminal illness rider. A couple carriers have chronic, critical, and terminal, but these are generally on a non-paid for rider. You get a little bit less benefit. There's a fee associated when you do go on claim, but just wanted to make sure everybody's aware of the differences here of the tax treatment of long-term care benefits. Also wanted to point out the tax deductibility of premiums that your clients may qualify for. So need to reach out to their CPA to see if they would be able to deduct any of their long-term care premiums that they're paying for. Have a couple graphs here of what it was in 2024, 2025, 2026 numbers should be out here within the next couple of months, but I would assume that those will probably tick up a little bit too as they have trended to the past handful of years. So one sales idea I wanted to give here that ties into single premium, but then also long-term care as a Section 162 bonus plan. So essentially, if you're not familiar with a Section 162 bonus plan, generally it's utilized on a life insurance policy. It's a way to retain and reward key employees. It doesn't follow under ERISA guidelines, so you can pick and choose who you want to offer these benefits to. For a business, a little bit easier to get through and not non-burdensome is non-qualified deferred comp plans. And once again, ways to reward key employees and incentivize them to stay with their company. So if we're using a hybrid product, say like the One America, Nationwide, or John Hancock product, because those are hybrids, there is a life insurance premium associated with it, and there is a long-term care premium. So one product, two premiums. Essentially, you can deduct both of these premiums on the business side of things. The client then receives that amount as a quote unquote a bonus. Then on their W-2 have a nice graph here of then how this works for the life insurance premium. So the employer and the key employee enter the agreement, the Section 162 agreement. Premiums are paid by the employer into a long-term care hybrid product. They get to deduct those as a bonus wage to the IRS. The key employee then will pay taxes on that bonus, but then they have then benefits to that long-term care hybrid product like One America, Nationwide, John Hancock. That is specifically on the life premiums. The long-term care premiums, once again, they're going to enter into that agreement. Employer pays those premiums on that long-term care portion. They're also able to deduct those long-term care premiums on that policy. The key employee then has access to those benefits. So quick sales idea there. That's a little bit more in depth. So if you have any questions on Section 162 bonus plans, reach out to your sales director. We have a ton of materials around it, some nice marketing materials or some 1- and 2-pagers for all of your business owner clients. Also, we do have a specific single premium life marketing toolkit. As with all of our toolkits, there's going to be some nice agent guides, prospecting pieces, marketing materials, and client presentations that you can use all around single premium and long-term care hybrid products. So if you'd like to receive that, reach out to your sales director, or you can select yes here on that poll and your sales director will get that kit over to you. Once again, I apologize for being on mute. It looked like for about the intro slides there on IAMS. If you have any questions, all of our sales director, myself, Matt, Paul, all very well versed here on our single premium options, but I think it's a great idea to be looking for here if you wanted to look at the year, finishing the year strong. Here, we can get these policies generally from submission to issue if it's on a cash basis within 2 weeks or so. So I have a couple more weeks here to get policies paid. Once again, wanted to point out EquiTrust has that 15% premium bonus on their products to help out your clients. And then on the commission side, Baltimore Life is running that 25% comp bonus on any products paid for here by the end of the year. So with that, I appreciate everybody joining me here today. Once again, apologize for the audio issues. Reach out to your sales director or myself here if you'd like any more information or to get you this slide deck over to you. Thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great remainder of your week and finish the year strong. And we look forward to talking to you soon.